Hi guys, welcome to this discussion on current affairs, banking and economy. As usual, we'll discuss a range of questions, about 25 of them, but importantly, we'll focus on a few, as is the case with almost all of our discussions. And whenever normally what I say in the end is that if you have anything for us to discuss with you would want us to discuss things like fiscal deficit, X topic, Y topic, something that you would want more of these kinds of discussions, please leave feedback. We'll definitely come back to you on this. Okay, couple of weeks back there was some issue concerning fiscal deficit. Someone wanted to know about fiscal deficit. That's why we brought up that idea of having an exclusive talk on fiscal deficit. Okay, and someone also came up with the idea of Euro top 10 risk and everything. So we'll discuss. We'll discuss in the sessions to come. We'll discuss all that. Anything more? If you want us to bring this up, have a talk for a 5, 10, 15, sometimes a full talk, let us know. We'll try and bring in as much as possible. So here is the first question, and it's usually, as usual, the first question is something that I pick for discussion, in an elaborate fashion. Okay. So here's the first question. What does it read like? Dash is a theory according to which exchange rates between currencies will be in equilibrium when their purchasing power is the same in each of the two currencies. Now this sounds very theoretical. The answers on the screen for you. I want you to write a little about this idea, because often we read that GDP is calculated in two major ways. One is the nominal method, which most often we use, and the second is the purchasing power parity method. Okay, so let's write both and bring in a few more things. I have some data points for you here, but how do these come? We'll come back to this in a while. Okay, so let's write gross domestic product. First we'll take nominal, then we'll take PPP, and then we will bring in the theoretical part as to what works behind this. Okay, this won't be a very elaborate talk, though I will give you some notes because it will be self-explanatory. So what is self-explanatory? Wouldn't need a teacher like me to explain things to you. Please write gross domestic product, underline that. Below that, one, nominal, subheading, nominal, dash, total money value of all goods and services, total money value of all goods and services produced in one country in 1 year. Total money value of all goods and services in one country in 1 year. Okay. Now this is typically market exchange rates. These are market exchange rates. Now, what is the problem with this kind of approach? Right. Second point below that. In nominal method, market exchange rates means foreign currency market exchange rates. Market exchange rates for conversion. So because we always talk in terms of GDP in dollar billion. We don't talk of it in rupee terms, isn't it? So when we compare countries or when we talk of India's GDP, we say X trillion dollars, X billion dollars. We don't talk of this in rupee terms, isn't it? So how do we arrive at that? We multiply this in rupee terms into the value of each dollar. Let's say 75 rupees. So we always talk about market exchange rate. Fair? So right, in nominal terms, in nominal method, market exchange rates for conversion are taken. Full stop. This does not this does not take into account the difference in cost of living, the difference in cost of living in different nations, full stop. Also fluctuation in the exchange rates, or the country's currency may change a country's ranking between years, come on, even though it often does little or no difference to the standard of living of the people in the nation, in the country, standard of living of the people in the country, full stop. Okay, now you think about it. We today talk of India's GDP at $3 trillion, $3,000 billion. Okay, take a round figure of $3,000 billion. How do we get to that $3,000 billion? Total production in India, rupee value into the value of, let's say, you convert that into the value of the dollar, you get $3,000 billion. Now imagine if $1 today equals, let's say, rough estimate, equals 73 rupees. $1, 73 rupees. Tomorrow, the value might increase. Value might decrease. Actually, in technical economics, it's decreasing. Okay, from 73, it goes to 80. Don't you think the value of the Indian GDP will increase? Yes. Now, what about the other side? If the exchange rate goes down, do you think what will happen now? Yeah. So this is something that we need to be worried about. We need to be careful whether this is the right method. This may or may not be the right method, but you should know whether it is, it makes any difference to people's standard of life. So if India's GDP, exchange rates change, India's GDP goes up to, $3.5 trillion. Do you think the people, next year the exchange rates change and GDP goes up to $3.5 trillion, $3,500 billion? Do you think that's going to make a difference to the quality of life people live? That there has been a serious development, in the last 1 year that has raised the standard of life? Yes. So it doesn't really make sense. Okay. But then you also have to look at it this way. Cost of living is different. Because cost of living is different, we need to budget for it. And that is where purchasing power parity comes into play. Okay. So purchasing power parity. So first one is nominal, second is purchasing power parity. Dash. This is an exchange rate, simple Bhasha. This is an exchange rate at which a country's currency is converted into that of the second country, that of the second country, in order to purchase the same volume of goods and services, in both nations. To repeat, PPP is an exchange rate at in which or rather at which the country's currency is exchanged is converted, not if not exchanged, converted into that of the other country's currency to to purchase the same set of goods and services in both countries. Very technical, it sounds simple. Take a dollar, convert that into the purchasing power of the rupee. You would know that the cost of living in the US is much higher than it is in India. Yes, it's almost 4 times more. It is almost 4 times more. So we need to look at that. We need to look at that. So a dollar, if a pen would cost, let's say, $1 in America, it might cost less than that in India, isn't it? This pen definitely costs less than $1 in India. This pen costs about, I think, I am not very sure, but it's a Uniball, so it might cost 50 rupees. It might cost 50 rupees, whereas America, it might cost 75, 80 rupees. That is $1. Okay? So you need to budget for the fact that the cost of living in India is much higher. If you look at America, their GDP is stable both in PPP and nominal rates. You know why? Because that's a base we use. That's a base. Look at this. I'll give you one more point there, but before that, you look at this. The United States GDP for last year is $21,439 billion. Yes, nominal. You convert that into the local currency, obviously it's a US currency, it will be the same. Isn't it? It will be the same. See this country, we will come back to this point. Okay. GDP nominal, $1 billion, rank for this particular thing, GDP in PPP, rank. Look at China's GDP. Nominal, it is only 14.14, but if you convert this into the purchasing power of the Chinese currency, at what rate? $1 equals 1.9 yuan. It's a conversion factor. It's called PPP conversion factor. Okay. So you divide purchasing power parity by nominal, you get 1.9 purchasing power. Look at this, 1.9. So this you multiply into 1.9, you get this number. $14,140 billion into 1.93, you get that number. 27,309 billion dollars. So the Chinese GDP is almost double what it actually is in nominal terms. But look at now India. What does it say? The PPP rank 5. The normal is 2.93. Yes, but in PP terms it goes up to 11.3 trillion dollars. $11,326 billion, because the conversion factor is $1 into 3.85. There is a certain way to get this number, not for at bank level or the kinds of most, in fact almost no exam in India would ask. Even civil services exams, they don't ask this kind of stuff. If you want this to be explained, please leave feedback and get back to you. Okay, no issue. This is an ordinary thing to learn, but it would take some time. So you multiply 2.936 into 3.8, you will get that number 11.3. So almost 4 times, my friends. India's GDP is almost 4 times its PPP GDP is 4 times its nominal GDP. So somewhere we will have to learn that, my friends. We have to decide which is good. I don't know which is good. But purchasing power parity sounds better because it's a very, very big number, isn't it? And you look at the ranks. Nominal wise, we are 5th largest in the world, but GDP, PPP wise, we are the 3rd largest because the rankings change. Look at China's number. China's number is 27.1. That makes it the world's biggest economy by GDP in PPP terms. Second would be the United States, same as a nominal number. Third is India. Of course, you look at Japan. Japan's slightly more, slightly more at 5.7, which is more than 5.1. And of course, Germany's GDP is also higher because a euro is more than a dollar actually. Technically, exchange rate was also, a euro is not as strong as the dollar is. Okay. Look at France, from number 7 it goes down to number 10. Look at UK, from number 6 it goes down to number 9. So they are not doing good. Their economy is not doing good at all, my friends. It is not doing good. See, you may think the euro is the same in Germany, it's the same currency for Germany and France. No, the currency might be same. What about the cost of living? The cost of living is different. So you need to budget for that. Things might be slightly more expensive in Germany, or slightly, or slightly less expensive in France. You understand it? Or they could be expensive in France, maybe less expensive in Germany. So it is taken as a basket of commodities. It's not just 1, 2 commodities, huge basket. Okay. So last point you write this last point. Generally, the cost of living in the United States is higher than, I'm leaving this for you so that if you want to copy this, you could copy it actually. But I think it will come as an ebook to you, so you could always use this. Instead of explaining to you, narrating this, I thought of having this. It's a good method of learning. So, we were discussing this last point. Generally, the cost of living in the United States is higher than most countries. Full stop. Out of 192 countries, whose GDP is tracked by the World Bank and IMF, about 12 nations have a higher nominal GDP than GDP PPP, while around 179 countries, around 179 countries have a higher GDP in GDP PPP terms. So 192 countries, 12 have higher nominal, 179 have higher PPP, isn't it? India comes in that category. But you know what? So this has come to 192. One is remaining. One would be the United States, because this is the same, isn't it? So you could write full stop, last point. The US GDP will remain the same for both nominal and PPP methods, purchasing power parity methods. Okay guys, I wanted to have a short discussion on this. This is not a great topic. It's not a very complex topic. We just convert the value of the dollar into the value of the local purchasing power of the local currency to get PPP. How much will a dollar buy in the local currency? And you know that given the difference in cost of living, a dollar typically buys much more in most countries, in this case 179 countries, than it would buy in some other countries. That's about it, nothing else. Okay? So you see this, almost nowhere would you find that a dollar is less. A dollar is less actually. Next question, Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act. We discussed this FRBM when we discussed fiscal deficit, because at that time we mentioned that under the FRBM Act, a deviation of 0.5% is allowed. I mean, from 3.3, deviation, maximum deviation could be another 0.5. So the government can go up to 3.8 because they had budgeted a 3.3 deficit. They can take it to 3.8. If they say 4% is the likely deficit, they make a budget estimate, they can go up to 4.5%. But what's the idea here? Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act was introduced to establish financial discipline to reduce fiscal deficit. Financial discipline is all okay, but financial discipline for this financial discipline you need money. You need you need to be very controlled in the terms of expenditure. Especially the government should desist from giving off farm loan waivers, from giving away what we say free ration, free lot of free money under the DBT schemes and everything. So I'm not saying it's bad. It's just that financial discipline has to be there. See, I often, because I teach for other courses, a lot of other things, I often have been asked about farm loan waivers. Is it a good idea? Now, normally, in fact, I never give a personal opinion in the class. I never share my personal opinion in the class. But I would tell you how to put this across to a banker. Okay? If tomorrow in the bank interviews or some competitive interviews, they ask you, what is your opinion about farm loan waiver? See, they are looking less for opinion and more for analysis, more for reasons as to why you think like that. Okay? Now, your heart might beat for the poor farmer. Yeah, you see, yes, farm loan waiver should be there. We need to take care of our farmers. After all, they feed us. Now, I'll tell you why farm loan waiver is a bad idea. Fair. Now, listen to this carefully. Let me sip water. See, farm loan waivers are a bad idea because they damage the creditworthiness of the farmer. How? Let's say there are two farmers, a good farmer and a bad farmer. You are a good farmer, I am a bad farmer. You are a good person, I am a bad person. Now, both of us had gone to the bank to borrow. We borrowed money against our lands. Then you have been making those EMI payments, equated monthly installment payments. Every month you have been dutifully paying off those, kiste EMIs. I am a bad guy. I don't want to pay. Why would I pay? Yeah, I know that election season is coming. And I would want the farmer, the politician to give me a farm loan waiver. So there will be lots of people like me. Unfortunately, there are more people like me than like you. Okay? So in any case, it's not the farmer who is at fault. It's the thinking that is at fault. In any case, so you have been paying off the EMIs, I won't pay. So the banker would normally treat my loan as an NPA, non-performing asset. You have a better credit rating. Now election season comes. The politician promises in the election that, look, give me vote, I'll get you this farm loan waiver. We will waive off all your loans. आपकी जो भी ऋण है, आपका जो भी ऋण है, उसको माफ कर देंगे, ऋण माफी. तो I will vote for the guy. The guys, they are in power. Now they fulfill an order. They made a promise. They fulfill. Why will they fulfill? Because it's not their money. It's not their money. It's public money. I'll tell you how it works. Both of us get a farm loan waiver. Okay? Now, in the bank accounts, it's written that you, my student, my dear student, you are a very good farmer. You have paid all your loans. So you normally have a good credit rating. I would have a bad credit rating. I am your teacher. I am a bad farmer. So loan नहीं दिया, NPA हो गया, खत्म. Next time we go to the farmer, we go to the bank, will the bank give us loan? It won't give me loan, it won't give you loan. It will be very, very wary of getting a loan, but giving a loan, because it believes that if the banker say things, if the bank would give a loan to these farmers, it's as good as writing it off. Okay. The government tells the bank, you forgive their loans, you waive off their loans, okay, you waive off the loans, we will pay you. When does the government pay the bank? Banks NPS rise. Banks don't have money, because ultimately the money that is lent has to return to the bank. Only then it will lend to other sectors, and it will do more lending. It will do lending. Money goes out, gives it to us. We don't pay back. I don't pay back. There will be lots of people like me. So the bank does not get back its money. Yeah. So one, money is stuck. It's NPA. Second, it's stuck from the government also. Normally governments take a long time to pay off all these banks, because this money that the bank has waived off is not the politicians' money. It's not the government's money. It's the public's money. Public deposits were used by the bank to lend. Got it? The money does not come back. Now, next time we have genuine need. We have genuine need. What will happen? Will we get loans? No. So, ultimately damages the creditworthiness of the farmer. It's a farmer who loses in the long run. Even in the short term, see, medium term the farmer loses, forget long term, even medium term. So it's not a good idea. A good idea would be maybe upgrade facilities, don't pay little interest, reduce the interest, but we will reward good behavior. See, the banks, the politicians are rewarding bad behavior, bad financial behavior. I'm a bad guy, you are rewarding my poor financial behavior. नेक्स्ट टाइम चलो हमको लोन मिला, हम दोनों को लोन मिला, आपको और मुझे लोन मिला, विल यू पे नेक्स्ट टाइम? You know the answer. If you know the answer, what will happen? Bad financial behavior is contagious. मैं क्यों भरूं? When that guy is not paying, why should I pay? That's how it works. So farm loan waivers are a bad idea, generally a very poor idea. A better idea would be to take it, to give a moratorium, for a short term, don't pay, or give better access to the farmer, irrigation facilities, better seeds, better markets, better cold storage facilities, all that. Of course, that ecosystem has to grow. It takes a lot of time. Unfortunately, things haven't changed much. In any case, this is something I wanted to share with you. So next time around, think a little hard about farm loan waiver. Anything that's free is never valued. आपके घर में अगर फ्री, दिल्ली में देखिए आप, फ्री पावर है, फ्री पानी है, if water is free, do you think anyone would bother? The tap would be kept open. But if water is एक ग्लास पानी का, हम कभी कभी रोड पे पीते हैं, नॉर्थ इंडिया में खासकर गाड़ियाँ होती है पानी की. So if you drink a glass of water, they say 1 rupee, 2 rupees ठंडा पानी होगा. आप सोचिए, if water is free, would anyone sell? Would anyone care? No. But, people don't care. People don't care about things that are free. So if there was a price for air, imagine what would have happened. So, in any case, question 3, which of the following is not true about SDR, special drawing right? You could write this. Special drawing right. Special drawing rights. Special drawing rights. So, underline that first point. First, used by the International Monetary Fund. The International Monetary Fund. Used by the International Monetary Fund. Okay. Second point. Currency value of SDR currency value of SDR is determined by summing, summing, summing the values, adding the values, summing the values, summing the values, values, values in US dollars, comma, based on market exchange rates, comma, of a number of not number 4, only 5, of a basket, let's make it this way, of a basket of major currencies, a basket of major currencies. So you could write, let me repeat, currency value of SDR is determined by summing the values of values in US dollars, comma, based on market exchange rates, comma, of a basket of major currencies, full stop. The major currencies are US dollar, comma, Japanese yen, yen, the Japanese yen, yen, comma, euro, euro, comma, British pound, and Chinese renminbi. It's there in choice 4. Choice 4 देखिए, renminbi, वो Chinese की, China की currency है, renminbi. So you want to know every fortnight is calculated, the values are calculated. You want the latest values, I'll give you just idea. Okay, आपको इसका exchange rate भी मालूम पड़ेगा, right? $1 equals 7.12 yuan, yuan. What is yuan? It's a unit of Chinese currency. What's the Chinese currency? Renminbi. काफी जगहों पे आपको renminbi yuan मिलेगा. So $1 will get you 7.12 yuan in China. Okay. So next, Chinese. We said Chinese yuan. It's called British pound, right? $1 equals 1.25 pound. 1.25 pound. इसके पहले में I said in reverse order, yuan, pound, euro. $1 equals 1.09 euro. 1.09 euro. Last one, Japanese yen होगा ना, right? $1 equals 106 yen. 106 yen. yen. So I just wanted to give you an idea of exchange rates, nothing more than that. Okay. So which of the following is not true about SDR? The currency code is XDR. Private parties are not allowed to hold them. In fact, no one can hold them except member states, and that too with the IMF only. The value of the XDR is based on a basket of key international currencies. We mentioned them. Renminbi was added as latest as 2016. So that's it. All are true. So the answer is 5. None of the above is not true. Who authored the book Girl, Woman, Other? Okay, you write this. This is important. Girl, Woman, Other dash authored by authored by Bernardina Evaristo. Dash co-winner of 2019 Booker Prize. 2019 Booker Prize. 2019 Booker Prize. Dash without grammar. Dash along with Margaret, choice 3, Margaret Atwood's. What's the name of the book? The Testaments. Margaret Atwood's. Atwood apostrophe S at Margaret Atwood's. The Testament. So last year the Booker Prize was given to 2 books. Normally it's not done, but they gave it. Who are these guys? Chigochi Obiama, Shafak Rushdie. See, for the Booker Prize, 6. You want to know something about Booker Prize? Just write two points. Right, Booker Prize. Underline that. First one. Established 1968. Established 1968. Next point. Given to the best work of English. Best work in English fiction. Published in the Commonwealth, in the English speaking world. So given to the best work of fiction, English fiction, published in the English speaking world. So 4 guys have won the Booker Prize twice actually. Some other time I will tell you. If I have time, I'll come back to this in the end of the class. Let me write this. 4 Booker. So, okay. In case I have time, I'll come back to this. Next, you write this Chigoji Obiama. So, Booker Prize I was talking about is that they make a long list. 108 किताबें first होती है. They make a long list, and then that long list, for the prize is shortened to 6. That's called shortlist. So, of the 6 books that were shortlisted for the Booker Prize, 2 won the Booker Prize. Okay, there are 3. That are there in these choices. The 4th one, if you want, I will tell you that also. You write Chigoji Obiama dash author of Chigoji Obiama dash author of dash an orchestra of minorities. An orchestra of minorities. I haven't read this, but usually I read a lot of this kind of stuff. I have read all the books of Atwood actually. I have read all the books of Atwood. She writes a dystopian future and all that. It's beautiful, dark, nice. So Chigoji Obiama, the books, An Orchestra of Minorities. Next, Alif Shafak. Right. Shafak dash 10 minutes 10110 10 minutes 38 seconds in this strange world. That's the name of the book. 10 minutes 38 seconds in this strange world, in this strange world, in this strange world. Last name Salman Rushdie. Salman Rushdie dash Salman Rushdie dash. This time his book was the one that was shortlisted is Quixote. Quixote. It's pronounced Quixote. I repeat, Quixotte. Quixotte. Quixote. It's pronounced Quixote. What is it? Quixote. If you have read Don Quixote, basically, it's modern version of that book. So Salman Rushdie, fabulous guide to read, a lot complex to understand. तो यहाँ से ये सभी बुक्स शॉर्टलिस्ट की गई थी. एक और बुक है, ऑथर का नाम पहले लिखिए, राइट. लूसी एलमैन, लूसी LUCY, लूसी एलमैन, ELLMANN, लूसी एलमैन dash author of Ducks, 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 comma, Newburyport. It's a very complicated name. Newburyport, NEWBURY. I repeat, NEWBURYPORT. Newburyport. So Ducks, Newburyport by Lucy Ellman. Alif Shafak, 10 minutes 38 seconds in this strange world. Salman Rushdie, Quixote. Chigoji Obiama, An Orchestra of Minorities. Avaristo and Atwood. Avaristo is mentioned there on the screen, and Atwood's the author of the Testaments. That's a little about the Booker Prize last year, friends. We had discussed these things. Nomadic elephant is a joint military exercise between India and Mongolia. एक लाइन लिखना चाहेंगे मंगोलिया के बारे में? ठीक है, you can do one thing. Since we have already discussed this, it will be a little cumbersome to repeat, but चलिए लिखते. Yeah, because sometimes I have this array मैंने नहीं बोला उनको, I could have told them. You write this: Mongolia dash Togrog. Sorry, the capital is Ulaanbaatar. Ulan, ULAAN. I repeat, ULAANBAATAR. Ulaanbaatar. That's the capital. Ulaanbaatar. Dash. The president's name is Khalmulgin Battulga. KHALTMUGLIN. Khalmulgin or Khalmugin Battulga. BATTULGA. In some places you may not find the L after G in Khalmugin. You may find double G. Both are okay. Khalmugin Battulga is a president of Mongolia dash, and the currency is Togrog. 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 Underline the word Mongolia. Pull a down arrow. Right. Pull a down arrow. Down arrow. Second largest, what is this? Second largest landlocked country. LANDLOCKED. LANDLOCKED. Landlocked country. हाँ, तो मैं आपको एक बात बताना चाहता हूँ कि पिछले we got some feedback from one of our students. She had mentioned that in one of our sessions I had told you that Madagascar. I suddenly remembered when I mentioned Mongolia, so I wrote it here. Madagascar. यहाँ पे लिखा मैंने. Madagascar. In one of those sessions I had mentioned that Madagascar is the fourth. I had mentioned, that is, you misheard me. But what your question was, that I had mentioned that Madagascar was the fourth largest island country, and when you googled you found that it is the second largest island country. See, what I mentioned in that session, I think you mentioned testing session 5 or something. What I mentioned in that session was clearly Madagascar is the fourth largest island. Okay, largest, top 3 are Greenland, New Guinea, Borneo and Madagascar. Fourth is Madagascar. It is the second largest island country, which is the largest, Indonesia. I was clear. Okay, I will not willingly give you information that is incorrect. I think the only time I had given you incorrect information was when I got the surname of the Lieutenant Governor of J&K incorrect. One of our student friends, he mentioned that he mentioned the error. Actually, he pointed out the error, and he said that it is Girish Chandra Murmu and not Girish Chandra Saxena. In the session I had mentioned Girish Chandra Saxena, but it is actually Girish Chandra Murmu, and I had sought apology from all of you at the time. I know that one error, I know that I was incorrect at the time. So I am your teacher. I believe that I am dumber than you are. So I will make sure that I learn much before that anything that I would share with you. See, I write here so that you have some ideas. I don't write because I don't know the spelling. The idea is that when we share stuff, we want it to become better. That's what we are doing, nothing more. Okay? So Madagascar, second largest island country, fourth largest island. Now, why is it not the fourth largest island country? Because islands alone, like for example, the largest island is Greenland. Greenland is not a country, it's an autonomous province of Denmark. Got it? Look at New Guinea. New Guinea island is split between two countries. The western portion is Indonesia, the eastern portion is Papua New Guinea, which is a separate country. Okay? Now, when it comes to the third island, Borneo is split between 3 countries. The southern part is Indonesia, the northern part is Malaysia. Within the northern part, there is a tiny country called Brunei, Brunei. So, I'm very careful about the kinds of words I choose. Maybe sometimes we mishear, sometimes my pronunciation may not be appropriate. I used to teach pronunciation, so sometimes गलती से pronounce हो जाता है, सही pronounce हो जाता है. लेकिन I have told you that I use the pronunciation. In fact, you must have observed that your teacher uses the pronunciation that all of us would understand. I tell you the right thing, but I also tell you that don't use it where it's not understood. Isn't it? Yeah. So, Mongolia is the second largest landlocked country. Which is the largest? Mongolia के पास में एक देश है, Kazakhstan. That's the biggest landlocked country in the world. So we have taken notes on each of these countries. Didn't we? Haven't we? In Russia, yes. Afghanistan, yes. Mongolia, Nepal, UAE, all. And we have taken a long list of exercises. So we will not go there. I mean, way too many exercises, my friends. Okay. So if you want 1 to odd exercises with Russia, Indra, INDRA. With Russia, Indra, INDRA, Indra. The name of the military exercise, Russia. With Russia is called Indra, INDRA. With Nepal, Surya Kiran, Surya Kiran, Surya Kiran. चलिए आगे चलते हैं. World Heritage Day is observed on 18th April to increase awareness about the importance of protecting culture and diversity. The theme for 2020 is, it's mentioned on the screen for you. You know, protecting our culture, our diversity, our national heritage is one of our fundamental duties, isn't it? Yeah. Fundamental duties are listed in Part 4A of the Constitution of India, Part 4A. So there's not much to discuss here. Choice 4 there, April 18th. Volodymyr Zelensky recently announced a $1 million reward for his country's scientists for developing coronavirus vaccine. He is the president of Ukraine. He is the president of Ukraine. You know what, guys? I think we have taken notes on each of these guys, each of these countries. But चलिए लिखते हैं एक बार revision भी कर लेते हैं. And why Ukraine is in news? Ukraine is in news because of the American elections. And it's a dirty playing ground for both Russia and the United States. Ukraine में the eastern part, if you look at Ukraine, the country of this is, let's say, this country is Ukraine. Okay, which a Black Sea. The bottom portion is Black Sea. Eastern portion is, this is all Russia. ये पूरा Russia. ऊपर Belarus है, जो choice बंद दिख रहा है, Belarus. Okay, and this entire portion, this is Europe this way, west. This is west. The central and west speak Ukrainian language. Eastern part speaks Ukrainian. They speak Russian. So these guys want the country to go closer to Russia. These guys want Ukraine to become a part of the European Union. So they've been fighting, massive fighting. So this is my favorite area, international affairs. In any case, you write Ukraine dash Ukraine dash capital is Kiev, K-I-E-V, K-I-E-V. Kiev dash, that's the president on the screen, Volodymyr Zelensky. Volodymyr Zelensky. See, this guy, once he is a television comedian actually, and it's a very politically unstable country. You know, he said to have told people that, look, you don't have my photograph in your office. No. I don't want any government office to have my photograph. I want government officers to have the photographs of their children, because every decision they would make would impact the country. So before you make a decision, look at the photograph of your children. Is this decision in the interest of this country? Children like this, mine. If it is, then go ahead. Don't be corrupt, he says. Oh, plenty of stuff politicians speak, isn't it? Yeah, they speak very well also. Some speak very well. So, Zelensky is the president, and the currency is Hryvnia. HYRVNIA. Hryvnia. Okay. HRYVNIA. Yeah, Hryvnia. तो इसके बाद बेलारूस लिखते हैं. I think in the previous section we wrote about Latvia. I'm not very sure, but you're right. Belarus. Dash. The capital is Minsk. M-I-N-S-K. Minsk. Dash. The president is a dictator named Alexander Lukashenko. Alexander Lukashenko, 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 Alexander Lukashenko, Alexander Lukashenko, and this guy is grooming his son. You know how old is his son? Early teens. Wherever he would go, right from the age of 8, he would, he would take his kid. He would अपने बेटे को लेके जाते थे मीटिंग्स को, बायलैटरल मीटिंग्स को, किसी गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर से मिलते थे, तब पास में बिठाते थे. Watch, how do I talk, kind of thing. Yeah, how I talk, how do I deal with these guys. Some dynasty in the making. So the currency is ruble, R-U-B-L-E, ruble. There are, politicians in Belarus are not happy because this Lukashenko is pro-Russia, and that Russia has intentions of invading Belarus and integrating Belarus into Russia. These are all conspiracies. Okay, yeah. But when you read this, there's all kinds of this. The world is changing because of these kinds of people. Yeah, you and I don't change the world. Maybe you do, I don't. But these people are changing the world. Latvia, 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 Latvia. The capital is Riga, Riga. Dash. Who's Prime Minister? Christianis, right? Krisjanis. Christianis. Karins, Karins, Karins. Dash. Europe. Okay, we will not. I think. See, I'm repeating Latvia and Lithuania, so I'll skip Lithuania. Okay? We'll not bring that the capital Vilnius, the leader Gitanas, Nosida, not required. Go to Poland. Poland is important. Poland. What's the capital? Warsaw. W-A-R-S-A-W. W-A-R-S-A-W. Warsaw. The president is Andrzej Duda. A-N-D-R-E-Z-J. A-N-D-R-E-Z-J. Andrzej Duda. D-U-D-A. Duda. It's pronounced Duda. The currency is Zloty. J-L-O-T-Y. J-L-O-T-Y. Zloty. Zloty. Nothing's happening because the world has come to a standstill. आपने ऑब्जर्व किया होगा कि मैं अभी फिलहाल इस क्वेश्चन में आई एम नॉट एडिंग वैल्यू इन टर्म्स ऑफ who, apart from the usual stuff we write, what's happening in these countries, because nothing's happening. Because of coronavirus, the world's on a lockdown and nothing's happening. Even in the recent past, nothing's happened in these countries. Otherwise, I would have brought up something new that's been happening. But unfortunately, nothing's happening. Ajay Mahajan has recently been appointed MD and CEO of Care Ratings. Care Ratings. I think credit rating we discussed in the past. So, एक काम करते हैं. We'll pick 1-2 ordinary things here, and then we'll take 2-3 choices, and we'll write the CEOs of word. Choice 1, SMARA, Small and Medium Enterprises Ratings Agency. Small and Medium Enterprises Ratings Agency. Ratings Agency. Okay, small and medium enterprises ratings agency dash Shankar Chakrabarti. Shankar, Shankar Chakrabarti. So normally that's how it's pronounced, isn't it? My Bengali friends would tell me this. They would say Shankar. Air is blown in the mouth. So the air, see, the movement of air makes all the sound. Remember, it's all, all sound is made by air. Yes, all sound is made by air. There is, when you break this, it's called snapping. When you snap this, there is a sound. Yeah, you think the bones are breaking? No, air is escaping from the, gaps in between. The sound is made by, the pop sound is made by the air escaping. Yeah, nothing more than that. Basic physics, my friends. So Shankar Chakrabarti for Smera. CRISIL, एक और लिखते हैं CRISIL. No full form now. CRISIL. This is owned by which company? Standard and Poor's. Standard and Poor's. POOR''S. Standard and Poor's. Underline CRISIL. Pull it down arrow. Right. Down arrow. Right. CEO is Ashu. 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 Suesh, SUYASH, Suesh, Asu Suesh. Nice question. Sometimes these kinds of things help. The Durand line is a boundary line between India and between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Why I came up to India, I don't know, but the Durand line is a boundary line between Afghanistan and Pakistan. You write one line about this. Durand line dash named after Mortimer Durand. Mortimer, MORTIMER. Mortimer Durand, DURAND, Mortimer Durand, comma, Foreign Secretary of British India, between 1884 and 1894. 1884 and 1894. Underline Durand line, pull down arrow, right? Disputed boundary line between Afghanistan and Pakistan. See, Afghanistan is not happy with the line. Pakistanis are okay with it because Afghans say that a large part of Balochistan should have been a part of Afghanistan, but Durand line put it in Pakistan. So we don't believe this is the right line. We don't accept this as a final international boundary line. So the Pakistanis are happy as long because it suits them. That's it. India and Pakistan, it's called Radcliffe line. RAD, I repeat. Boundary line between India and Pakistan dash Radcliffe line. RAD CLI FFE. RAD CLI FFE. Radcliffe line. Radcliffe line. Radcliffe line. Dash named after Cyril Radcliffe, CYRIL, Cyril Radcliffe, comma, a British judge actually, who drew the boundary. Okay, enough. British, full stop. किसी दिन मैं कहानी बताऊंगा इसकी. Not now, some other day. North Korea and South Korea, there is no particular boundary line. एक जमाने में boundary line होती थी 38th parallel. Parallel means latitude. Okay, parallel to the equator. So 38th parallel was a boundary line between North and South Korea. Before the Korean War that happened in 1950, started in 50, ended in 53. Okay, so there's nothing basically. And Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh, there is no boundary line because they don't come anywhere close. Yeah, beach में India है. India and China, McMahon line, McMahon, McMahon, McMahon line. McMahon line. Okay. See, the McMahon line is not accepted by China. It is accepted where it suits it. Like, it does not accept Arunachal Pradesh as a part of it, India. But it accepts McMahon line between Myanmar and, itself. That's how it is. Hindalco Industries has recently become the world's largest aluminum maker for the acquisition of alloys for $2.8 billion. Hindalco Industries is a part of Aditya Birla Group. Aditya Birla Group. You write this Aditya Birla Group dash chairman Aditya Birla Group dash chairman Kumar Mangalam Birla. Underline Aditya Birla Group, pull it down arrow, right. Pull it down arrow, right. Owner of Ultratech Cement, Hindalco, it's mentioned in there. Hindalco, Hindustan Aluminium Company is Hindalco. Hind is Hindustan, Al is aluminium, Co is company. Hindalco, Grasim, 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 which is a fabrics company. Grasim, Vodafone Idea, it's of course a joint venture. Vodafone Idea and Pantaloons and की जगह नहीं है. And see, the company owns a lot of companies. The group owns a lot of companies. It's a majority partner in Birla Sun Life. It's a owner of Madura Garments. Do you know this Madura Garments? No. Madura Garments is the owner of brands like Alan Solly, Peter England, Van Heusen, Louis Philippe. They own all that stuff. It's a huge company. It's a huge company. आप जो कुमार मनोहर बिरला हैं, I think he's an MBA from London Business School, and if I'm not wrong, he's also a chartered accountant. He's an MBA from London Business School. That much I know. So it's a huge group. Top 3 in India. Aditya Birla is the biggest. Number 2 is Tata Group, and 3 is Reliance Industries. Okay, overall group activities. I'm not talking about just one. Overall, everything. So it's a huge company. But these things keep changing. Revenues and everything keep changing depending on the season. So Adani Group Adani Group chairman Gautam Adani. So आपके घर पे जो फॉर्च्यून विल्मर तेल आता है, ऑयल, एडिबल ऑयल, ये इनके यहाँ से आता है. एडिबल ऑयल, अदानी, a huge company. They are into logistics, shipping, you name a thing, they are into that. Yeah, they are into metals mining and all that. एक काम करते हैं, इसके बारे में एक और लेक्चर. Underline Adani, pull it down arrow, right? Owns, OWNS, owns Carmi KL Mine, CAR, I repeat, CARMICHAEL, Carmi KL Mine, MINE, Carmi KL Mine in Australia. Hugely controversial mine, hugely controversial. Carmi KL Mine. Okay. Larsen and Toubro dash chairman, sorry, CEO SN Subramanian, SN S dot N dot Subramanian, underline LNT, pull it down arrow, right? India's largest engineering company, India's largest engineering company. India's largest engineering company. See, you look at the name Larsen and Toubro. These are the names, surnames of two persons from Denmark who came to India in 1938. The full names don't write. Henning Hock Larsen and Søren Toubro. Anyway, Tata Group dash chairman Natarajan Chandrasekharan. Last one. Reliance Industries chairman Mukesh Ambani. You know this. Sure. Laver Cup is associated with tennis. I'll just write one line over it. Laver Cup dash named after Rod Laver, ROD, Rod Laver, LAVER, Rod Laver dash played between Team Europe, EUROP, Europe, and Team World. So the top players in Europe and the rest of the world. Not much to discuss. Who's out of the book Shuttling to the Top, the story of PV Sindhu? V. Krishnaswamy's answer. And you know PV Sindhu is an ace badminton player. Boria Majumdar, cricket historian, sports historian, especially cricket. Yeah, you can write Boria Majumdar dash co-author of Playing It My Way. Playing It My Way. Co-author of Playing It My Way dash with Sachin Tendulkar. Ravi Chaturvedi, Sambit Paul, Rahul Bhattacharya. Okay, एक काम करते हैं. We'll write about this Rahul Bhattacharya. Right, Rahul Bhattacharya dash the Sly Company, SLY. The Sly Company, COMPANY, company of people. The Sly Company of people We care. We care. Title is interesting. SLY. SLY. SLY, company of people we care. Yeah, I found the title to be pretty interesting. Next. According to the 2019 Digital Workspace Survey, which of the following is the most digitally dexterous country in the world? Means country where people are highly tuned to changing technologies. India. The survey found out that about 70% of Indians are pretty conversant with emerging technologies like machine learning, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things. I hardly doubt that. I'm not a skeptic, but unfortunately, our system does not provide jobs right after education, because most people do not learn; they just get degrees. And I'm sure that you are very different from those people. Yeah. So you could, if you want to write one line, you could write digitally dexterous dash focus on machine learning, comma, artificial intelligence and Internet of Things. Okay. Top three countries. Dash India, UK and US. India, UK and US. I didn't have anything to discuss here. Under the Credit Guarantee Fund for Micro Units scheme, the Union Finance Minister has increased the coverage of a lender's loss in case of loan default to 75% from 50%. So in case there is a loss, this particular credit guarantee would cover this loss also. Now earlier it was 50%, nowadays 75%. Wonderful. Who among the following was chosen for the 6th time as the best men's player of the year at the 11th edition of the Dubai Globe Soccer Awards? Ronaldo from Portugal. I can tell you which countries these guys belong to. Suarez from Uruguay. Uruguay. U-R-U-G-A-Y. I repeat, U-R-U-G-A-Y. Uruguay. Then what is that? Messi, Argentina. Choice 3. Jig from Netherlands. 4. Ronaldo, Portugal. Kylian Mbappe, France. He's a teenager, man. He is one of the most expensive players in the world. Kylian. Which city hosted the 5th edition of the Asia Pacific Drosophila Research Conference, organized in India for the first time by the Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research? Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research. There's not anything to discuss here except what is Drosophila. Drosophila is fruit fly. You find them everywhere. Fruit fly. So it was held in Pune. So 2 things to know: Drosophila, fruit fly, and the full form of IASER. Indian Institute of Science Education and Research. Name the Indian appointed to a 12-member advisory group to Managing Director. They would advise the MD of IMF, Raghuram Rajan. And there's nothing to discuss except for 5. The first 3 are all farmers. Like for example, Kaushik Basu is the former chief economist of the World Bank. Y. Venugopal Reddy, ex-RBI governor, Yaga Venugopal Reddy. Arvind Subramanian, former chief economic advisor, to government, to Prime Minister of India. The last one, you write, this guy is important. Current chief economic advisor to the government of India. Chief economic advisor to the government of India. Okay. According to the United Nations report, levels and trends in child mortality, among which nations has the mortality of girls under the age of 5 exceeded of boys? So more girls die than boys in which countries? All those countries. India, Nigeria, Pakistan and DRC. The last one, the fourth one is something that we don't know anything about, except that I had mentioned in previous session that, you know, if you look at this as Africa, ये पूरा Africa है, तो ये बीच में है एकदम, Democratic Republic of Congo, and just write 2 lines, one line. DRC dash, Kinshasa, K-I-N-S, I repeat, K-I-N-S-H-A-S-H-A, Kinshasa, that's the capital, and the president is Felix, F-E-L-I-X, Felix Tshisekedi, T-S-H-I-S-H-E-K-E-D-I, Tshisekedi, Felix Tshisekedi, and the currency is franc, F-R-A-N-C, franc. These are very dangerous places. In fact, DRC is considered the world's most dangerous place for women. Not the right place to say, but this is one of the most, it has the highest incidence of rape in the world. A lot of violence, my friends, against women. So I think we discussed all these countries in across sessions. Nigeria, we had discussed this in the past as well. See, to a large extent, child mortality, girl mortality is more, female mortality is more because of the preference for boys. Boys have access to better health care. And I'm not exaggerating. Yes, sahi hai. Yehi hai main karan. Okay, yeah. They don't get nutrition. So, child mortality is under the age of 5. Infant mortality is under the age of, till the age of 1. 1 से कम infant, 1 से 5 child. Okay. With which institution has the government of India signed a $88 million loan for the implementation of the Assam Inland Water Transport Project? They're going to use the Brahmaputra, Manas, all these rivers basically. So World Bank. इन सब के बारे में जानते हैं except choice 5. You could write one thing about this Assam Inland Project, National Waterway 2 dash Sadia, S-A-D-I-Y-A, Sadia dash Dhubri, D-H-U-B-R-I, Sadia Dhubri dash 820 kilometers. 820 kilometers. So आप एक काम कीजिए, सिर्फ because we have written multiple times about 1, 2, 3, 4, that 5 is Right. Inter-American Development Bank. Inter-American Development Bank. Dash. Established 1959. Established 1959. Second point. Head office Washington DC. Washington DC. Next. Director General. Director General. Dash. Louis Moreno. Louis. L-U-I-S. Louis Moreno. M-O-R-E-N-O. Moreno. Louis Moreno. Louis Moreno. Engaged in development finance. So they lend to countries in the Americas. Okay. With which country has India held a maiden Ganga Volga dialogue to enhance? Hey, this is a repeat question. 3. Russia. What is it? Russia. And when we discuss this question, we discuss the choices. So not much. Volga is the biggest river in Europe, my friends. The biggest river in Europe is Volga. Okay. India's biggest river is Ganga. Ganga is the biggest river in India. 2600 kilometers is Ganga's length. 2601. Okay. The National Institute of Virology is at Pune. These days it's become quite famous because of the coronavirus pandemic. Okay. Hyderabad, you could write ICRISAT. 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 Because in the past about Hyderabad we have taken the names of some other institutes. This time something new. ICRISAT. 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 Right. ICRISAT. The answer should be the full form is International Crop Research. International Crops. Sorry, not crop. Crops Research Institute. International Crops Research Institute for semi-arid, arid, semi-arid tropics, TROPICS, tropics. International Crops Research Institute for semi-arid tropics. It's a UN, more or less affiliated to the UN, my friends. So I think we already mentioned a lot of things about these places. Who among the following has won the second edition of the 2019 PEN Gauri Lankesh Award for Democratic Idealism? Yusuf Jamil. Will not discuss this. Gauri Lankesh was this journalist in Karnataka who was shot dead by, the case is underway, so we will not jump to conclusion. She was shot dead, and there are critics either way. We will not get into that business. Okay. With which Indian company has recently signed an MOU with the Israel-based Elbit Systems for developing an unarmed aerial vehicle, drone basically. It's kind of a drone. Okay, unmanned aerial vehicle, UAV. The answer is HAL, and the chairman of HAL is R. Madhavan. And HAL, Hindustan Shipping, they were all started by one businessman from Shorapur. His name was Walchand Hirachand. Remember, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, Hindustan Shipping, which is in Visakhapatnam, they were all started by Walchand Hirachand. Walchand Hirachand. Okay. Anything else? Bharat Forge CEO Baba Kalyani, the private company. Bharat Forge dash CEO dash Baba Kalyani. Next. A worldwide financial messaging network which exchanges messages between banks and financial institutions is known as SWIFT. What is it known as? SWIFT. We'll discuss only one choice. SWIFT, you write this. What is SWIFT? You write SWIFT. This is quite important. Underline the word SWIFT. Right. First point. Society for, the full form. Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications. Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications. Okay. Next point. How does it work, right? Works, WORKS, works by assigning ASSIGING, works by assigning each member institution a unique code that identifies not only the bank, comma, but country, comma, city and branch. Repeat. Works by assigning a unique code to each member financial institution, but that identifies not only the bank, but the country, city and the branch. So everything in this. Okay, it's like our IFSC code, but this is international. So when banks are unable to meet their priority sector lendings, they have to deposit their money in RIDF. What does I stand for? It stands for infrastructure. Rural Infrastructure Development Fund. Rural Infrastructure Development Fund dash run by NABARD, 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 run by NABARD. Okay. I think we discussed priority sector, we discussed NABARD. Cool. So just one line here. In case banks are not able to fulfill their priority sector targets, 40% kind of targets, what they would have to do is to take that money and put it in this RIDF, and the same money is used by NABARD to lend to self-help groups, basically the same priority sector targets. That's it, my friends. Thanks for being here. I hope you learned a few good things today. And should you have any questions, please get in touch with us. Thank you very much, my friends. Thank you so much.